highlighting the dedication of a proud civil servant, providing opportunities and the environment to start a business, plus a grand farewell to a musical icon. Those and much more in today's lineup on Jamaica Magazine. Hello, I'm Adrian Atkinson. So glad you could join us. As the government continues to strengthen the country's Ebola preparedness measures, we share some vital information you should know.
The Ebola virus is transmitted through direct contact with an infected person's blood or other bodily fluids like saliva, urine, stool, and semen. Symptoms of Ebola include sudden fever, intense weakness, muscle pain, headache, and sore throat. This may be followed by vomiting, diarrhea, and rash, and in some cases both internal and external bleeding, leading to death. Protect yourself. Avoid travel to Ebola-affected countries. Avoid contact with infected persons. Don't touch the body of someone who has died from Ebola. Wash hands frequently with soap and water and use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. To know more, call 1-888-663-5683.
Good day, I'm Tamara McHale and this is your GIS News for Thursday, November 20. The Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ, is predicting that the economy will grow between 0.5 and 1.5% for the final quarter of 2014.
Most industries are expected to grow, with the agriculture and hotels and restaurants industries projected to record the strongest growth.
The October to December projection reflects a rebound from the July to September quarter, when the PIOJ says real GDP contracted by 0.8%.
The outturn for the July to September 2014 period largely reflected the impact of drought conditions.
But the PIOJ's Director General expects that and other factors to improve going forward. And he says Jamaica's recent successful completion of the 6th IMF review should also contribute to strengthened confidence levels in the market.
And we note that following inflation of 2.1% in September 2014, the inflation rate for October moderated to only 0.1%. So we would expect to see going into Christmas a reversal of some of the price increases for domestic food crops which we had observed in the summer.
For both the 2014 calendar year and the 2014-2015 fiscal year, the PIOJ expects GDP to grow within the range of 0.5 to 1.5%. Meanwhile, Jamaica's current account deficit, the balance between imports and exports, is expected to reach 6.3% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP, by the end of this fiscal year. Central Bank Governor Brian Winter made that projection during the BOJ's quarterly press briefing on Tuesday. He pointed to preliminary data which supports this projection.
Tourist arrivals for the fiscal year to the end of October up by 5.3%. We're also seeing a strong recovery in net remittance flows, which grew by 5% for the first 4 months of this fiscal year.
At the end of the 2013-2014 fiscal year, Jamaica's current account deficit was 8.4% of GDP. The National Animal Identification and Traceability System, NAITS, got off to its official start at the annual Minard Livestock and Beef Festival recently. Starting with cattle, several heads were tagged. The process should be completed for the country's 60,000 cattle stock within 12 months. Agriculture Minister Derek Kelly says the program will facilitate high-quality food, safeguarding public health, and supporting the trade in food products.
Food safety and traceability have largely been driven by the demands of the export market. However, our own consumers deserve nothing less than safe and healthy food.
The initiative is also meant to help curtail predial larceny. Livestock owners will be given passports to document their animals' bio and genetic data. The Ministries of Agriculture, Health and Local Government, along with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, recently signed a memorandum of understanding to guide the implementation process. Government has so far spent $114 million to provide electronic content on the tablet computers being distributed under the Tablets in Schools pilot program. Minister of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining Philip Paulwell made the disclosure recently. He was speaking at a $76 million contract signing with the local and international publishing fraternity for the supply of additional electronic content on the devices.
The contracts being signed this morning is for the purchase and satisfactory delivery of content for the Tablets in School project, and includes publications in ebook form as well as web-based resource material.
He said the process used for selecting the 5 local and 4 overseas content suppliers has been transparent, and every effort has been made to ensure cost-effective delivery. Content is available for the subject areas of mathematics, English language and the sciences from the lower primary to the secondary level. And finally, as part of its mandate to promote Jamaican culture, the Creative Production and Training Center CPTC is targeting young people with an art and photography exhibition featuring artwork from local greats. The exhibition, which will be launched on November 25, will be open to high school and college students who will get a chance to see this side of our culture.
We have to teach our young people that we are an important people with a long and cherished history, that we have many stories to tell, and that these stories are entertaining.
Art lovers are also invited to view the collection, which will include items for sale from artists such as Albert Huey and Edna Manley. The exhibition will be open to the public next week at the CPTC's Arnold Road studio from 12 to 6 p.m., Tuesday to Friday, and on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's part of the CPTC's 30th anniversary celebrations. And that's it for GIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.
There is no tolerance under the Child Care and Protection Act for physical abuse of any child. What am I saying? That a parent has no right to slap her child or his child? I don't think so. I think you can. I think there is some leeway there for discipline. But some of the abuse cases that we have seen and we have experienced, that's not discipline. That's literal hate. And if you parents can even stop sometime and think about that reason why you're going to raise your hand or that belt or that stick to hit. Sometimes it has nothing to do with what the child did, you know. It has to do with how it made you feel.
It's Global Entrepreneurship Week, and planned activities include events to engage entrepreneurs in the technology field. Startup Jamaica, a government initiative, hosted a series of forums geared toward including business networks and teaching entrepreneurs how to transition ideas into businesses. The new Startup Jamaica facility was opened recently. Let's look at the impact it's likely to have on the technology sector.
I'm very excited to see that Startup Jamaica is happening. It's here. This is the demonstration of the fact that this is not just a visionary statement or dream, but it's a reality.
The Ministry of Science, Technology, Energy and Mining continues to work on creating an environment that facilitates the growth of tech entrepreneurs. Through local and international partnerships, it has managed to engage young persons on various platforms such as Kingstoon, the Digital Jam series and animation workshops. And from the successes came the birth of a facility exclusively designed to turn their ideas into business reality.
Startup Jamaica is part of our project to ensure that we can take many talented young Jamaicans and expose them to mentorship, support, financing, so that they can move to the next level.
Applications were opened in July 2014 for the techies to apply for a space in the 5-day boot camp. From 217 entries, 60 were selected, and the first batch participated from September 8 through to 12. Representatives from Oasis 500 out of Jordan took them through the intense training sessions. Here, their products or apps and business models were tested and refined to see if they have the marketability to fit in and survive in the global marketplace. From this batch, 10 teams or companies with the most viable business solution apps will be selected to go on to the 100-day accelerator program.
Now, the 10 companies that are selected to be in the accelerator will be provided with equity investment. Oasis is going to invest the equivalent of $30,000 US, and they will, in exchange for that, they will take a stake in the companies. Part of it represents cash, and the other represents the support, the guidance, the mentorship that they provide in the accelerator.
The accelerator program will begin in October or November 2014. Startup Jamaica will facilitate both the boot camp and the accelerator programs with rotation on a 6-month basis, turning out talented technology-savvy Jamaicans to take their place in the global marketplace.
It's a huge capital of talented, capable, creative young people who can be a force of transformation for the economy. And the digital world, the online virtual economy, the digital media could really be some of the means by which that talent and that raw talent can provide economic growth opportunities, foreign exchange opportunities, and jobs for Jamaica.
We caught up with 2 participants to hear of their expectations going into the boot camp and their strategies to be among the top 10.
My expectations, it is to be able to see people or meet people who could help us with our weaknesses, help point us in the right direction. And it seems as if the guys at the Oasis 500 are definitely the right people. They are even introducing us downstairs to markets that we weren't even thinking about getting into initially.
The strategy we hope to employ to move ahead to make it to the top 10 is to get traction with our product, present it as an attractive value proposition to our customers, and be able to predict a reasonable return on investment for the investors that we have here from Oman.
The state-of-the-art office for Startup Jamaica is located on the 6th and 7th floor of Jamaica National's Duke Street branch in Kingston and is outfitted with furniture and telecommunication services by line. This partnership supports government's strategic priority of human capital development, building on skills that will lead to business opportunities and job creation.
Really an investment in the development of Jamaica.
We've outfitted this 7th floor of the Jamaica National Building to provide entrepreneurs and technology entrepreneurs in particular with the space that they need to innovate and ideate and come up with new service-based and technology-based solutions for all sorts of problems that hopefully we're going to be able to export throughout the world.
The National Commercial Bank also put up $5 million towards the institutional strengthening of the 10 selected business ideas from the Accelerator program.
We've seen many of our SMEs come in with great ideas, but not having the institutional framework to sustain that. And so we are investing in programs like Startup Jamaica that help them to not only, share those ideas, but take them to the next level.
Startup Jamaica will be further supported through a $20 million contract with the World Bank, which includes funding for the training of 15,000 young persons in digital and animation at institutions such as the Hartrust NTA, the University of the West Indies, and the University Technology of Jamaica.
We have seen where there's been a global demand for outsourcing of animation content, and the only issue preventing further growth of Jamaican companies is the availability of skilled personnel. So we're going to be ramping up our training in animation.
The $30 million will also fund a science, technology and innovation program to be implemented by the Scientific Research Council. So from now until December, the first cohort of 10 tech businesses will experience the success of Startup Jamaica, followed by another 10 every 6 months. And this is just the start of greater development of new businesses from a sector of unlimited possibilities and prospects for Jamaica.
And I believe that Jamaicans are richly endowed to do very well, to continue to do very well. And as we are celebrating innovation, it is this era that we are looking to for tremendous performance as we continue
to encourage our people to work towards growth and the creation of jobs.
One vision for Startup Jamaica is for it to be a tech entrepreneur incubator for the region, and so it will also accommodate persons from other Caribbean countries. For those who missed the chance at the first boot camp, application will open again in January or February of next year. Get ready!
I wonder where Chantal is. You know me can't find him for wait. I know when they know. Watch me her name. Hey Chantal, where you watch? GIS.
No most you know say that the program are the best.
Them always the places where you have progress. I'm made of them there. Don't me now forget.
I must Manchester's finest.
Hey, hide your remote, not change the station. Cause we soon come back with more information from the school and the station where you're number one, from the school and the program where you're number one.
This week we're celebrating civil servants. All week long we've introduced to you some outstanding public servants who have embraced the spirit of excellence. At the launch of Civil Service Week last Friday, Senior Customs Officer Sean Barrow was named Civil Servant of the Year for 2014. We congratulate Mr. Barrow and wish him the best of luck. He's following in the footsteps of our own Enthros Campbell, last year's most decorated civil servant. Here now is her story of excellence.
Ms. Campbell, you started in '95 as radio editor. What were some of your duties?
Well, I came in as you say, editor. I had to edit the scripts of the producers, but I also had my own beats. I had 3 ministers, Minister Paulwell, Agriculture Minister, and I had the Prime Minister. And I had to train the producers, because, you know, editing is not about just grammar and correctness, but also as it relates to content. Ensure that we have the right figures. If Minister says 2 million, we don't have 2 billion, and so on.
Having performed well in the position of radio editor, Ms. Campbell was promoted to the position of senior copy editor and later senior editor at the television department. The growth process continued in 2000 when she was asked to serve as the manager for the radio department. By then, her velvet voice was penetrating the airwaves.
Coming up, Water Ministry adopts zero tolerance approach towards excessive use of water during dry period.
I grew up listening to you on the radio when you had the Voice of Jamaica coming out with JIS programs. And when persons hear you on location, if they meet you in person, if you just say your name, they immediately recognize the voice.
To me, sometimes I'm surprised. I don't know, sometimes I'm really surprised, but sometimes it just motivates you and you say, boy, you know, you really are doing something good because people know of you, and it's a good feeling.
Since 2009, this hard-working civil servant has been serving as Director of Production at the JIS.
As Director of Production, I have direct responsibility for computer services, television, and radio.
She is also chairperson for the JIS's production meeting, where she ensures that the production arms of the agency disseminate information in a structured way.
Okay, morning everyone, and welcome again to another production meeting. Today we're going to be focused on the visit of the head of the IMF. As you know, she's visiting next week.
Well, as you instructed, we have already put a plan in place to do stories while the visit unfolds.
Enthros Campbell also represents the JIS on an interministerial committee organized by the Office of the Prime Minister. There, she coordinates all media activities for national events as well as state and official visits and funerals.
I coordinate on behalf of the agencies. I represent the agency on the interministerial committee, so I have to ensure that media is happy and that government is happy with how media operates.
She has the expertise, and JIS is always a very important component because we want media coverage, both internationally and locally. And so she either would coordinate the international press as well as the local press, accredit them and manage them.
Enthros is the calming individual on any committee.
Entrose is not ruffled. She's quiet but effective and very professional.
Ms. Campbell was also chairman of the JIS's planning committee, which spearheaded the development of the award-winning photo album commemorating Jamaica's 50th anniversary of independence. The publication received the Bronze Award in the prestigious Mercury competition, beating out over 600 entries from 21 countries. The Chief Executive Officer of the JIS also presented her and the team with an Innovation Award for the publication. Ms. Campbell again struck gold when she and the planning committee conceptualized the annual JIS Heritage Essay Competition in 2011. Ms. Campbell, you are, should I say, multifaceted, because your job or what you do is not just limited to things you do here at the JIS. You're also una profesora de español. Tell us about it.
Yes, I teach Spanish. I'm a trained Spanish teacher, and while I'm here at the JIS, I still teach like on a Saturday. I teach at Mind on a Saturday, and I help students who are doing exams. Yo trabajo.
In February 1998, Ms. Campbell was an interpreter for journalists covering the visit of Fidel Castro to Jamaica, and 1 year later, she again provided her services at the G15 summit. Appropriate duties for the remarkable civil servant who completed a Bachelor of Arts in Spanish as well as a Master of Arts in Spanish Translation at the University of the West Indies. She also studied in Spain, Colombia, and Venezuela. Ms. Campbell's tour of duty would be incomplete had she not participated in outreach activities. She mentors a child at the Mount Olivet Boys Home in Manchester, a childcare facility adopted by the JIS in 2009. And as an active member of the Kingston Open Bible Church, she teaches a Sunday school class and organizes Vacation Bible School for the children. For her hard work in the public sector, first as a teacher and then a media practitioner, Ms. Campbell received extra special recognition in 2013.
Our Civil Servant of the Year 2013, Entrose Angela Campbell.
When I got the award, I was like, I was surprised because the people who were with me, the other nominees, they were really well-respected civil servants who've been in the job for a while.
When we, reviewed the work, we also thought of her character and what she brings to the position. She inspires, she is, as I said, reliable. You ask her to get something done, she follows through. She communicates well, and she's just a good team member. She's a part of my dream team. Entrose is a shining example of hard work and dedication to national development. And we wanted to put her on a bigger stage. Yes, she's here at the GIS. She's associated with the brand. You hear her on radio. You see her occasionally on TV. But we wanted the public to know that these are the people who serve the nation in the public sector.
What would you say to civil servants? Some of them may feel a little dejected from time to time based on the current circumstances. What would be your advice to them?
Bloom where you're planted. You're here now, you don't know where you're going to go, but if you want to move to somewhere else, you just have to be the best here. Because if you don't do well, nobody's going to see you and he will recommend you.
What about your vision for the civil service?
I want them to get better pay, of course. I want them to be paid better. But I also want them to be more professional. I mean, all round. I know there are lots of professionals in the civil service. The worldview about civil servants is that they are just not good. I want that to change.
Entrose Campbell, Director of Production at the Jamaica Information Service, Civil Servant of the Year 2013, transforming and renewing for a better tomorrow.
Perfect.
The passing of reggae icon John Holt has left a void in the music industry, but the memory and legacy of this most prolific writer will live on. For his contribution to the development of Jamaican music, he was awarded the Order of Distinction in the rank of Commander in 2004. At a Thanksgiving service on Monday, family and friends paid a tribute and reflected on his life's work. And, as you can imagine, musical tributes flowed inside the Holy Trinity Cathedral. Listen now as we share some of the highlights.
I pray the stars will watch and keep you while you sleep. And day by day the golden sun will shine as you trot along the way. Oh, how we love you, John. No matter where you are, now we sit alone with all these memories by the sky.
Let's go and have some fun on the beach where there is a party. Everyone will be here on the beach where there is a party.
Reminisce, my sister. Reminisce, my brother. Back on your memories. Hold on to them and squeeze tight. Looking back on the happy times, the fun times, and reflect on the love he had for us and the love we had for our daddy.
I want the love I can feel. That's the only kind of love I think it's real. Don't want to be going back something I heard. Cause baby, action speaks louder than words.
We are sad that John Holt is no longer with us, to speak with us, to sing to us, to comfort us, to uplift, to teach us and to nurture us, to write beautiful lines for us. But in this moment of sadness, there is also a feeling of happiness as we reflect on the feelings of joy that he has brought.
Impossible to live with you, but I know I could never live without you. For whatever you do, I could never wanna be in love with anyone but you.
John Holt is, and I say is, not was, no ordinary Jamaican. A master of his craft who has won the recognition and respect of music experts and music lovers wherever he goes and whenever he's heard.
Still, I guess this is where you really want to stay. Oh yeah, but there is nothing I can say to you, my love. Oh yeah, cause while did you let me know before I let myself go? And while you're riding around, I'm gonna be left.
Hope you enjoyed our show today. Share your thoughts, won't you? Email jamaicamagazine@jis.gov.jm or send a tweet at JIS News. Our website, jis.gov.jm, has more information you may want to check out, so log on today. Until tomorrow, when we do it all over again, same time, same station, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Walk good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.